Thank you for watching. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe and hit that bell button. Warning: everything you're about to see and hear comes from newspaper articles, court transcripts, and interviews with those involved. Thank you for watching. On December the 26th of 1980, Avery Peaches Shorts would be sent to the nearby mini-mart by her mother, who wanted a soda pop. Hazel Smith would give her daughter 58 cents and send her on her way. Roughly 2 hours after leaving home, Peaches would finally make it to the store. She would enter, buy the soda, exit, and continue onto Joe Louis Road. In the distance, she would see the railroad tracks and several red apartment buildings. At this point, he would see her. At 4 foot 5 inches and 50 pounds, the young girl was a sitting duck. Smoke emerged from the tailpipe of the white Volkswagen as it pulled up close to Peaches. And then it stopped abruptly. He jumped out and he grabbed her. The young girl was slung into the vehicle and it pulled away slowly. Peaches would not be seen alive again. The suspect would never be identified despite an extensive investigation. He beat the system, I guess you'd have to say. Avery Shorts was born on May the 18th of 1974 to Hazel Smith and Elwood Shorts. In 1980, Avery would find herself living with her mother in apartment 243 at the Montgomery Village Apartment complex in Knoxville. Her father was living in an apartment on Broadway, and he hadn't seen his daughter since November. Avery was quiet, shy, and spunky. Her rosy cheeks led to her mother calling her Peaches. Many in the apartment complex knew her, since she often played with their children. Like many of the younger Montgomery Village residents, Peaches frequently wandered the neighborhood, unsupervised. By all accounts, Avery Shorts was an ordinary kid. Unfortunately, she was stuck in a dangerous place, and she would soon find herself held captive by a monster. The day after Christmas would bring frigid temperatures of 94 degrees to the Queen City of the mountains. Hazel was cooking in the kitchen when she heard a knock at the door. Peaches would answer it, and a 5 foot 7 inch balding man would step through the door. 47-year-old Mitchell Webb and Hazel Smith were acquaintances. I guess that's what you could call them. Webb wanted them to be much more. Hazel, she just wasn't interested in companionship, but she didn't have a problem allowing her suitor to shower her with gifts. On that particular day, Webb would make his move once again. It was the same old, same old. He wanted to move in with Hazel. She would turn him down, and asked Webb to fetch her a soda from the nearby mini-mart. Mitchell Webb would leave behind 58 cents and slam the door on his way out. Hazel still wanted that soda, so she turned her attention to her daughter. It was common for Montgomery Village residents to walk to the nearby convenience store, even though there was no sidewalk. The 6-year-old could be there in 10 or maybe 15 minutes. The young girl would leave her apartment wearing a pair of blue cotton pants, a blue long-sleeve shirt with a snowman on the front, green checked coat, maroon toboggan cap, and blue Mickey Mouse tennis shoes. Her hair would be in ribbons as she stepped out the door. Peaches was not in a hurry. She left home around 3:30 p.m. and hung out with friends before traveling down Joe Louis Road towards Maryville Pike. When she made it to the intersection, she entered the nearby laundromat and spoke with another young girl. She would stop outside to speak with a man in a white Volkswagen before finally entering the mini-mart. With soda in tow, she would leave the store at 5 p.m., step outside, and head towards home. In 1980, there was no sidewalk on Joe Louis Road, so Peaches walked along a dirt pathway. She was nearing the railroad tracks and could easily see the red apartment buildings in the distance. He could see her as well, and he wasn't going to let Peaches slip through his hands. He pulled up to the young girl and jumped out. He quickly opened the back door and grabbed Peaches with both hands. The pop bottle went flying into the nearby woods while Peaches wiggled and kicked. Despite her efforts, she would be thrown into the back seat like a bag of trash, and the vehicle would pull away from the scene. Hazel Smith would call police just 48 minutes after Peaches left the mini-mart. The call was logged at 5:48 p.m. Within hours, the community would be swarming with people searching for the missing girl. Montgomery Village residents would team up with members of the KPD and the Knox County Rescue Squad to search Montgomery Village and the nearby woods. Despite the enormous size of the search, nothing would be discovered. That night, Jim Winston would hear about the disappearance while watching the local news. "Boy, this is bad," he would confess. He wasn't wrong, and the case would soon become his problem. As you see, he was a KPD detective, and the case would be assigned to him. He would first turn his attention to the girl's mother. He would ask Hazel about her love life. Did she have any boyfriends? Hazel gave the investigator 4 names. One would be Avery's father, Elwood Shorts. Detective Winston would also receive the name of Daylily Drive resident Mitchell Webb, the same man who visited Hazel on the day of the disappearance. With a few names on his list, Jim and others with the KPD would begin searching for evidence. Unfortunately, there would not be much in the way of physical evidence. The only thing of interest recovered would be the pop bottle found along Joe Louis Road. If Knoxville investigators were going to solve the crime and bring the culprit to justice, they would need to put in the legwork and obtain sufficient evidence from witnesses. There would be many to talk to. On the next episode, she saw Peaches in the store and believed that the little girl had left around 5 p.m., just 48 minutes before her mother called authorities. Montgomery Village was and still is not a good place for children. The area is swarming with drug dealers, gang members, and thieves.